Chicago's skyline might define the city, but it's the streets that tell the real story. From Lakeshore Drive to the South Side, the traffic, noise, and energy never let up. At the center of it all are the rideshare drivers, the workers navigating rising expenses in today's economy. Their daily grind shines new light on what work looks like in the Windy City.
We're not earning as much anymore. Just taxes, the fees are going up for Uber in the city of Chicago. Their operating expenses going down, up also for all the expenses we incur. Earnings average per trip is going down because now they're not incentivizing because they have such a high workforce now. You know, everybody's doing the gig economy, so now high workforce and low incentives.
Mani has been the breadwinner of his family for several years, Ubering for nearly a decade. He says the current economy has been making it tough to buy simple groceries, and Uber has inconsistent earnings.
You just basically, since we are earning less per mile and earning less per trip, you have to essentially be on the road longer. You have to drive more, you have to pick up more fares. It's getting harder out there, but you gotta make ends meet. Everything's going higher, the food prices, the energy prices, the rents, household supplies, everything's higher, and so you have left with no choice.
Across the United States, Uber drivers are discovering that the promise of flexible work often comes with something far less predictable: their paychecks. Researchers studying rideshare earnings have found that driver income can swing dramatically from week to week, shaped by factors drivers can't fully control, like where they work, when they log in, and how long they're forced to wait between rides. A University of Chicago study found that even with Uber's supposedly neutral algorithm, earnings vary widely, with subtle differences in experience, route choices, and driving patterns influence who earns more on any given shift. When drivers pay for their own fuel, insurance, maintenance, and the wear and tear on their vehicles, the picture becomes even more complicated.
So the trend is that the Uber's fees are going up as well as the city of Chicago fees, which leaves us less of the gross, and operating costs are also going up for expenses such as gas, maintenance, insurance, phone bill, car supplies, car washes, registration renewal, tax prep, tolls, office supplies, city sticker, driver license renewal, vehicle inspections.
Meanwhile, a multi-city analysis in Chicago, Philadelphia, and Portland shows that once these expenses are deducted, many drivers take home far less than the app suggests, often struggling to match the earnings of traditional hourly jobs, despite working long, irregular hours.
Rents are $1,500 to $2,000 a month for a 2-bedroom in an okay area, and I would say groceries are, for a family of 3, it's maybe $200 a week. And that's not including drive-through, that's not including going out. So I would say it's maybe 2/3 of your rent is like the grocery prices, the food prices. And then that doesn't account for like when you're working, if you're working a 12-hour shift driving Uber, you're gonna eat out probably twice. So maybe $10 to $15 each meal. That's like up to $30 a day.
In cities like Chicago, advanced data modeling has revealed another layer to the story. 2 drivers working the same number of hours can walk away with very different earnings, simply because of where and when they drive. Demand isn't evenly spread across the city, and neither is opportunity, leaving many drivers caught in an unpredictable cycle of feast and famine. And for some drivers doing this as a side hustle, they say it gave them flexibility to finish a master's, recruit for better jobs, and help them navigate a plan while they build their own business.
I just completed my MBA, and I'm looking for anything between the lines of consulting, finance, planning, budgeting.
Awais Aslam drives Uber for only 3 hours a day for pocket cash. It's a side hustle, but he understands the struggle.
You have to adapt, and sometimes, if you can see how this industry is changing and how automation and artificial intelligence is going to make it harder for people to find work, then you can't solely rely on it. I think you have to do more, and I can't say what I will do next, but as of right now, I am a husband, I am a son and I have, a lot of student loans. So I gotta try to do the best that I can.
Aslam brought up self-automation that's trickling in slowly. Self-driving cars are being used in California and even Atlanta. Waymo is looking to expand to Chicago. It hasn't happened yet, but right now Illinois allows testing of autonomous vehicles, but mandates a human safety driver in all cars on public roads. From a company standpoint, that promises efficiency. But behind that promise could be a quiet displacement of the workers who keep the city running through late-night shifts, snowstorms, and rush hour gridlock. In neighborhoods where rideshare income isn't extra money but survival, automation threatens to cut off one of the last flexible jobs people can still count on. And if self-driving fleets roll out without protections or a plan, Chicago won't just feel the impact in its streets, it will feel it in families, in communities, and in the widening gap between those shaping the future and those simply trying to live in it.
You have to adapt, and you always have to have a plan B or maybe even a plan C. But it seems like we're still a couple decades away, at least. That means we still have time. Like, it's not gonna go away right away. Just like cabs are not gone away right away. There's still some on the road. There's also people who transition to doing livery work. There's always gonna be a market.
Automation may be the future, but Chicago's story isn't written by machines. It's written by the people who refuse to stop hustling.